Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Tony from La Lita Loco. Well, I'm up. It's what time is it? Holy moly! It's 1:19 a.m. on the 2nd of January, 2023, and my whirlwind Sydney adventure continues. Have you been tracking along with it? I got into town on the 30th. I did a whole day of sightseeing, and then on the 31st, I went to the big fireworks spectacular in Sydney Harbor. I did that on a boat, and then only after a couple hours of sleep, I got up and did another day of sightseeing in Sydney, which included ferries and koalas and kangaroos and the Eye of Sydney, which is some huge tower that overlooks the Sydney overlooks Sydney. And I came back and I crashed out, and now I'm awake and I need to do some work and have some sort of entertaining video for you guys. And so I was sitting here like, oh, do I talk about the cruise news? Do I talk about my flight over from Los Angeles? Do I talk about, this, that, or the other? Well, I think I want to talk to you about my lunch yesterday. It was probably one of the most frenetic and expensive lunches I've had in a long time. Let's talk about the Sydney Dim Sum restaurant that we found open on a day where most restaurants were closed. Yeah, let's talk about it. Here we go. Yeah, so my lunch yesterday, it was wild. Yesterday, January the 1st, 2023, here in Sydney, Australia. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Public holiday. And so a lot of things were closed, but there were a few things open, and I hit the streets. I hit the streets with my friend Don from Don's Family Vacations and my friend Ian from the Uber Cruisers. And Ian from the Uber Cruisers, a Sydney resident, and the goal was to use the mass transit system. They have a really great mass transit system here in Sydney that includes buses and trains and trams and ferries, water ferries. So we're going to get back on the water, going to go from the harbor area over, back to actually where we caught our boat for the fireworks, and go to the wildlife type zoo that had Australian wildlife, and then go to the Eye of Sydney, which is like a observation tower in the Westfield Mall, right there in the shopping area in Sydney. And that's what we did. And so we took the ferry, we went to the zoo, and then we had a couple hours to kill before we went to the tower. And so we got on the streets and we started searching for lunch. And really nothing was open, but we found a mall that had a dim sum restaurant. Do you know dim sum? Do you know what that is? Let me give you the official definition. Dim sum is a traditional Chinese meal made up of small plates of dumplings and other snack dishes, and is usually accompanied by tea. And well, we went to this place called the Palace Chinese Restaurant, and on the outside it just looked like maybe it was a Chinese restaurant where you sit down with a menu and you order your food. Well, it was not the case at all. It was not the case at all. We made our way and got our seats, offered some tea, and as soon as we sat down, people started showing up with plates of food. Do you want some duck? Do you want some pork? Do you want this? Do you want that? There's carts flying around. This was like fast food on steroids. People with carts, and all of a sudden we found ourselves with a full-on table of food. And let me say, the food there, much like these Tim Tams, quite delicious. Hope you don't have to pee. Swirl test, still inconclusive. Maybe we can do that in slow-mo. The thing about Tim Tams is you gotta have something to drink. Stay hydrated. So the system that they used to keep track of how much your lunch was wild. Every time somebody would drop a plate of food on your table, they all had stamps attached to them, and then they would stamp inside of the bill area which dish that you had. Now, what we didn't know when we sat down is that the dishes had different prices. I mean, you could assume that the dishes would have different prices, but there were all these different categories of dishes. And while oddly, it seems like all the dishes that we picked were the most expensive. Oh, yeah, here we go. So once the lunch was tallied up, the bill was a lot. It was a lot. Oh, hello. Yeah, so the total bill, $181 and change. 181 Australian dollars and change. And well, I picked up lunch. Not only just to, show off that I could pick up lunch. I'm just kidding, I wasn't showing off. But because I had U.S. currency, U.S. credit card conversion, I was going to get a better deal from the conversion rate. And so $181 and change Australian dollars turned out to be around $118 for 3 people for lunch. Not crazy extravagant. Let me do some... It was like $40 a person, but we had a big old lunch and it was delicious and it was fast. It was so frenetic. That'll probably be the last meal I eat in Australia, other than, salt and vinegar chips and tam-tams. I don't know. It's like 1 a.m. I need a soda. I know there's a market that's open 24 hours, but should I be getting on the streets at 1 o'clock in the morning? I don't know. I've had such a good time here in Sydney, Australia. I have a lot more to show you guys. Let me roll this little clip. I need your opinion. All right, this is cool. I've only seen this in Japan, but I think it's pronounced gotcha. Gotcha. Don says it's because they're going to get your money. They gotcha. But it's a whole... This is Japanese for sure, and it's inspired, of course, by the vending machine culture. But yeah, you get all these random toys. Anybody that has a compulsion to collect, this will definitely trigger that compulsion. See, now I don't even know. I think I would love to have the monkey playing the guitar. How about that? Oh, I'm so tempted. I don't know how much these cost. 2 tokens, and 1 token is $5.10 Australian. What do you think? You guys know I love vending machines. Should I go buy a bunch of these things and see what's in the mystery things? I also bought souvenirs yesterday. Hold on, let me get the souvenir bag. Oh. This trip, unlike any... I don't think you're supposed to wear all these other clothes with a robe. This trip, like in no other, has brought out the souvenir request. Now, please, no more souvenir requests, because I've already done it. My mom, she said, hey, I want a t-shirt. So I got you a t-shirt, Ma. It's very feminine. It says Sydney on it. You can't even see it. It's like, yeah, you can see it. Sydney. How about that? I got the lady who cuts my hair. She said, hey, I'll give you the money if you bring me back a shot glass. But of course, I wouldn't take her money for that. But I got a whole set of shot glasses. So I can give out multiple shot glasses. How about that? My son-in-law, Tyler, who never asked me for anything, so I definitely had to oblige. She said he'd like to get a boomerang. Look at this boomerang. Tyler, it's on you, buddy. After I give you this, I expect you to know how to throw it. And then I got... We always collect a magnet, so the thing that we normally get, I got that. The magnet of the Opera House. And I've also started a sticker collection. I think I'm going to put them in a photo album, but this is my Australia sticker. And I don't know, I couldn't resist it. The classic line in the Men at Work song, traveling in a fired out combi. And a combi is a camper. Wait till you see this. It's already coming apart, hold on. That's not good. It's defective. My combi is fired out. Look at this. It's supposed to be a snow globe, but now I can't even shake it because it's already unglued. So I will hold it in place. Traveling in a fired out combi in a heavy... How about that? I think that'll look good on the Lovely DeLuca shelves. And then you might be going, well, what do you get the lovely Jenny B? Well, Jenny B, of course, she gets the Starbucks mugs. I got 2 mugs for her. I got one that says Sydney. And then I've got one. And mind you, I did not leave any room in my suitcase to pack any of this stuff. This is the challenge. On a heavy trip, do you come from... And then the other one that says Australia. Australia. I don't know. Were you looking for a souvenir haul? I usually don't have souvenirs, so I thought it would be fun. Yeah, that was the cost of my expensive mystery lunch in Sydney, Australia. What do you think? Do you like dim sum? Have you been to one of these restaurants where the carts just come by? I've been to dim sum in Chinatown in Chicago. I don't remember it being as frenetic, but is that normal for dim sum? I don't know. I still need to have a meat pie. All right. I hope you guys are having a wonderful second of January if you're in Australia or somewhere in this time zone, and I hope you're having a wonderful New Year's Day if you're anywhere else that's celebrating New Year's Day. Did you enjoy the video? Could I get a thumbs up just for wearing the robe? Can that happen? And look, you got to check out our New Year's Eve bucket list adventure on Sydney Harbor. Me and my friend Don Terrace. And there's a lot more to come from Sydney and New Zealand, so make sure that you are subscribed. This is Tony for La Lido Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye. Save me! Save me!